Our today's reading is potentiometer. Potentiometer is quite an important topic. Potentiometer. What is a potentiometer? We say a potentiometer is an electric circuit. It is not an instrument, not a device. Rather, it is an electric circuit which is used to compare the EMF of cells. Potentiometer is used for the comparison of EMFs of cells. Potentiometer is an electric circuit which is used to compare the EMF of a cell. It works on two principles. There are two principles on which it works. Or you can continue and write down, it works on the principle of null deflection. It works on the principle of null deflection. It works on the principle of null deflection. Null deflection, there will be galvanometer and it will give null deflection. This one is potentiometer. Null deflections using the following circuits. It works on the null deflection method using the following circuits. Right, number one, first one. First one is called principle of two PDs in opposition. First principle is the principle of two PDs in opposition. Right, which states that a galvanometer gives null deflection, which states that the galvanometer gives null deflection when two equal PDs are in opposition. When two equal PDs are in opposition. When two equal PDs are in opposition in an electric circuit. When two PDs are in opposition in an electric circuit. Okay. So you draw a circuit diagram to represent this principle, and it is like this. We'll take one cell and a galvanometer here. We'll take another cell. EMF are equal, I mean like this. These two cells are called in opposition. Why? Because they are giving current in opposite direction. This one is giving current anti-clockwise, this one gives the current in clockwise direction. That means this current and this current are in opposition. If their EMFs are equal, what is the net current? Net current is zero. That means the galvanometer will give zero deflection. Galvanometer gives zero deflection. So this is the first principle of potentiometer. Here galvanometer has to give null deflection. And then right down below, a potentiometer, right, this asterisk point. A potentiometer is preferred. A potentiometer is preferred to a voltmeter. A potentiometer is preferred to a voltmeter. For the measurement of EMF of a cell. For the measurement of EMF of a cell. Since it works on null deflection, which means it does not draw the current, it does not draw the current from the cell. It does not draw the current from the cell whose EMF is to be determined. Whose EMF is to be determined. Okay, you can understand this one in this manner. Okay. What is a voltmeter? We say a voltmeter is an instrument which measures the voltage or which measures the terminal voltage of a cell or of a circuit. Whereas, what measures the EMF of a cell? EMF. EMF definition says that it is the terminal, it is the potential difference between the terminals of a cell where no current is drawn from it. When no current is drawn from it, then only whatever is the voltage measure, that is called EMF. Normally, when we use a voltmeter, though voltmeter has got high resistance, but yet it draws some current from the circuit. It does not offer infinitely high resistance. No, little bit current it will absorb, it will draw from the circuit. That is, whatever it measures, it does not give the correct value of the EMF, because it little bit draws some current from the current from the cell whose EMF we are finding. That is why potentiometer is used for the measurement of EMF, not the voltmeter, which will measure more accurately the EMF of a cell is a potentiometer. And the reason why potentiometer is preferred to voltmeter in measuring the EMF of a cell, because it works on the null deflection method. It works on the null deflection method, which means it does not draw any current from the cell whose EMF is to be determined. So this is the reason behind. You can understand what I did already. The circuit is like this. Two cells they are having same values, but they are put in opposition. Two PDs in opposition. This gives current. They will be equal current because the EMFs are same. The total current of the circuit becomes zero. That means the galvanometer gives null deflection. That means it measures exactly the EMF of any unknown cell we can measure by this method. Practically, where do we apply this technique? This method, where do we apply? Practically, we apply this technique in the manufacture of a cell. I think pencil battery, which you call in common language battery, but there is a difference between battery and cell. Battery means number of cells. A group of cells together is called a battery. Whereas a single unit is called cell. So, like for example, Nippo battery or Nippo cell or the Eveready cell and all, we are making. And how much should be the EMF value of each cell? 1.5 volt. So when the company manufactures it, so they test the EMF of those cells, whether the EMF of those cells are accurate or not. They write 1.5 volt, it has to be 1.5 volt before they put the seed on it. Before they seed it. Once you break the seed and then you draw the current, then this EMF will keep on decreasing. But the initial value voltage put in the cell is 1.5 volt. So how do they test? They will have a, suppose this is the battery manufactured, and this is standard cell. This will be the standard cell. Standard cells are those standard cells. This is standard cell. Standard cells are those cells whose EMF remains constant throughout. So they will use a standard cell of 1.5 volt because they want to manufacture cell of 1.5 volt only. So they will be using a standard cell of the same value, 1.5 volt. And they will use a galvanometer, a kind of meter over there, and there will be trolley over there where the cells will be passed like in the form of train bogie type like this. It will be passed through the circuit like this. So suppose cells are passing and this galvanometer, somebody monitors the deflection in the galvanometer. If the galvanometer's deflection remains zero, that is null deflection all the time, like 5 cells pass, the deflection remains zero only, that is those cells EMF is same as the EMF of this cell. Let us suppose 1.5 volt, the company wants to manufacture, and this has to be also 1.5 also. 5 cells are accurate. But 6th cell, when it is passing, it shows some deflection, either this side or that side. So it shows some deflection. That means the EMF of that cell is defective, so they have to redo it. They have to remanufacture it. That cell they cannot use for sale. That cell has to be remanufactured. Then that time the cells are passing and there is no difference, and then those cells are accurate. They are having the EMF same as the EMF of this cell. But that particular cell, when the particular cell is passing through it and it shows some deflection, that means that cell is not accurate. The EMF of that cell is either more or less. That also they can check whether the EMF has become more than that, this value or less than that. They can also check that. If the deflection is this side, that is this EMF is bigger, that is EMF of this cell is smaller. Then they have to increase the EMF of this cell. And if the deflection goes the other side, this side, that means this cell is stronger. That means this cell's EMF has become more than the EMF of this cell. If it is 1.5 volts, it may be 1.6, 1.8 or maybe 2 volts. That means the EMF of this cell has become higher. They need to reduce the EMF. So that is the technique they use. The cell manufacturer company, they use this kind of technique to manufacture the cells before they bring those cells into the market. So that is the technique they use. So that is the first principle. Not to go in that details, but just to know that it works on the two principles. First principle is principle of two-position opposition. That is, and it is used. Potentiometer is used in measuring the measurement of EMF of a cell. It is preferred to a voltmeter because it works on non-deflection. Non-deflection is zero deflection, that means it does not draw any current from the circuit. So it measures the EMF more accurately than a voltmeter. That is the principle number 1. And the principle number 2 is over here, number 2. Principle of potential gradient, which is potential gradient. Principle of potential gradient. Second principle, this is more important than the previous one. Principle of potential gradient states that you can write it down. States that for the steady flow of current in a circuit, for the steady flow of current in a circuit, for the steady flow of current in a circuit, under bracket you can write null deflection in galvanometer, null deflection in galvanometer. The potential gradient of the wire, under bracket you can write potential gradient is voltage per unit length. Voltage upon length ratio is called potential gradient, V by L. V by L remains constant. Therefore, we write down this one. Therefore, V by L is equal to constant. The ratio V by L remains constant. You can write like this: when there is null deflection, when there is null deflection in the galvanometer, we can mention this. When there is null deflection in the galvanometer, then V by L ratio will be constant. No, you can write down as this principle is the second principle. This principle is the consequence of Ohm's law. This principle is the consequence of Ohm's law. Second principle is the consequence. They very often ask you on what law is the second principle or the principle of potentiometer based on which law. If they ask name the law, the name of the law is Ohm's law. And if they ask you state the principle, so then we will give the second one. Second one is the principle based on Ohm's law. Then we will write on the principle of potential gradient. And how do we find potential gradient? It's very simple. Suppose we are having a wire like this, AB is a wire, and we are having a cell like this. And this is say 4 volt and this is 100 centimeter. Question is asking find the potential gradient of the wire. Potential gradient we will find this way. Potential gradient equal to V by L. Voltage upon length. Voltage is how much? 4. What is the length? 100 centimeter, which you can change in meter in SI unit. 100 centimeter is how much meter? 1 meter. You can write that is 4 upon 1. Answer is coming 4 volt per meter. And if you don't change it, the 4 upon 100, the answer will become like this. If you continue with this, answer will become 0.04, but it will give unit volt per centimeter. So both the ways you can express. This is the SI unit and this is the some other unit, other form. But both of them are about, if the question is specifically asks you give your answer in SI unit, then will give like this 4 volt per meter. Similarly, if the length of the wire instead of 100 centimeter, it is 200 centimeter. So, what is the potential gradient of the wire? Then we will be doing 4 upon 200, that is 4 upon 2. The answer will come 2 volt per meter. So that way we calculate. It's very simple. Sometimes in the circuit they may show like this. They may give on extra resistance may be here. And they are writing out here, for example, 5 volt. And they are seeing the resistance per unit length of this wire is 2 ohm per meter decimeter. The resistance per unit of this wire is 2 ohm per meter. Find the potential gradient of the wire. Question says that. How to find potential gradient? Potential gradient is V upon L. Voltage upon the length. So the voltage given to us is 4 volt. What is the length of the wire? 200. But this is also there. This also you have to convert it because 4 volt is not applied across this. 4 volt is applied across this and also across this. So we have to consider this also here. Because 4 volt is, this is also there. This is not if the 4 volt is applied directly across this, then we had the answers coming like as I did previously. But if this is there, 5 ohms, so 4 volt is applied not only across this but also across this. So you have to change this into length. How do we change into length? Lengthwise, because voltage upon length, the total length, this length we already know 200 centimeter. 200 centimeter which is same as 2 meter. This also ohms will change into length. What is the value of its length now? Using unitary method like this, 2 ohm has got 1 meter. So you can use unitary method here. 2 ohms length is 1 meter. Therefore 5 ohms length will be how much meter? 1 upon 2 into 5. That is 2.5 meter. Then is 4 volt is applied across 2 meter and also across 2.5 meter. The value of this we have converted into meter. That is the voltage value that here 4. This is 2 plus this value 2.5. So 4 upon 4.5 volt per meter. You can use the calculation calculator and give your answer in decimal places. You round off at least 3 decimal places. You should give your answer. That is the solution for it. If there is anything extra over here, you have to consider that also changing to length. Then only the potential gradient value will come out. V by L value will come. See, it is not that the 4 volt is directly applied across this, it is also applied across this. So you have to take this also into consideration. Take this into length. How much is the length value of this ohm, this resistor? Equivalent length you will find out using unitary method. Like 2 ohm per meter, that is 2 ohms length is 1 meter. I will use it again. 2 ohms length is 1 meter. Therefore 5 ohms length is how much? 1 upon 2 into 5. The answer is 2.5 meter. That means 2 meter here and 2.5 meter here. So both added here and the answer comes 4 by 4.5. Then we can do the calculation, necessary calculation and give the answer in at least 3 decimal places. So today we do this one. Then tomorrow I will show you the actual circuit and the important things on the potentiometer which is likely to come your IC exam. So thank you for the day.